So let us log in to our system. Once you log in, you enter our dashboard, and our dashboard basically gives you a quick overview of everything that goes on with your product content at the moment. So you see some nice graphics, maybe some to-dos, some quick statistics, some recently added and edited products, and an activity feed. What you also can find on our dashboard is an overview of our multi-channel solution. So what you can do is you can create different entities within the PIM, and each entity can have its own assortment that can be used maybe for different channels, but also for different countries for selling reasons. Also, what you see is our products to do. Our products to do is a way on how to set up a step-by-step process on how you want to enrich your product content. So what this is I created a step called basic data, and what the basic data should contain is something that I control fully. So what I can do here is I can say, okay, for the base data, I want to have a GTIN, a main image, a manufacturer, the name, short description, and an SKU setup. Once a product doesn't enlist one of those checkboxes, this is the moment that product falls into the basic data step. So if I'm responsible for the basic data, once I log in, I see there are some products that are still missing some important information for the basic data, and I know I have some work to do. So when I go into my catalog, I see an overview of all the products that I have in my PIM solution. So on the advanced rules, what I can do here is I can just filter giving all the products where the basic data is not complete, but also maybe for the different steps. Once I choose a product, the first thing also to make it a little bit more efficient is our completion sidebar. Our completion sidebar tells the user on which part of the content the product does not uphold. So here you see for the supervisor, specifications need to be checked. And then after that, for the SEO, all the meta descriptions need to be done. So it makes it a little bit more efficient for the user to log in and get an overview. Okay, I have to go there. This is something I have to do, instead of going through the whole product. Once I enter the product and start working on the product content, the first thing that stands out here is that it's a multilingual platform. So it's very easy to create different tabs for different languages. And going from here into our attributes. So how we set up our attributes is that we want to predefine it as much as possible. And once we have a predefined set of attributes, we want to group them in specification groups. And basically what it is, as soon as you say, okay, I have a product that is a backpack, and if it is a backpack, I know which attributes I always have to fill in. And I want to capture that in a group. I call the group, in this case, backpacks, and then it shows me a list of all the attributes that I have to fill in. So that can be the width, that can be the depth, something you want to catch in a drop down, which also helps you minimize manual errors, but also communication errors in the later stage. And then what you see is we have the bold and also the not bold characters here on the side, which means is an attribute required or is it optional? If an attribute is required and you do not fill it in, it will not allow you to save the process. And this helps your colleagues to make sure they always fill in the required attributes. And this is very important because on the different sales channels, once you do not fill in all the different attributes, you will not get listed. From here, I'll make a small jump, show you the images. We have a drag and drop system where it's very easy just to add new images, but it's also something that you can import in bulk or maybe via an export, let's say an Excel, CSV, or an XML file. There's a lot of other ways just to add content to your products, related products, cross-sell products, also attachments. There's a lot of stuff you can do also from the category standpoint, but I won't go over that all today. What I do want to show you is it's very easy to import content from different sources. Of course, we have a full API where it's very easy to connect all your systems to KatanaPIM, but we also have a lot of clients that are getting data in different sources and they have to manually import it into the system. And that's very easy with our import Feedmapper. And how it works is you set up different feed mappings. So once a supplier, for instance, delivers you a file, you put the file in, you give it a name, and then from here you start the mapping. So you have all the fields in the PIM and all the fields that you have in the file. So what you see is all mapped here already. If it's possible or if it's in the file, you can also set up a multilingual. So you can also, if the translations are there, you can also import them right away with the product. Also the images, if there's a good URL in the file, you can map them directly to the product. and also all the specification attributes, you can map them just as easy. Just to make your life a little bit easier, we developed an auto map function. And what the auto map function basically does, it maps the fields in the file on the fields in Katana just based on the name. So once you set up your mapping, then it's time to import your products. So you just throw in the file, you select the right mapping, and then from here you go. As soon as you're ready, you press start, and the system does the magic. And if an import fails, it also gives you back why it fails. And the beautiful part about this is it's also something you can schedule. So for instance, if you have a supplier that can deliver a file or an XML feed on an FTP environment or somewhere else, you can just put in the right feed. And then once you set up the URL, you can also schedule it. So once you collected all your data, you enrich all your data, you want to start distributing it. And from the distribution part, of course, we have an open API and integration with different systems, but it's also very easy to export product content manually from the system. So you just say, I want to have a product export. Based on the filters you set up, you can just make a product selection, and then you can choose what you want to have in that export. So maybe just the specifications. I also want all the images based on the URLs, but I want to make sure I export it in a specific language because it goes to a supplier, in this situation in Germany. I hit the export button and it gives me the opportunity to download an Excel file from the PIM directly. Otherwise, I can also publish it as a feed, and then it just makes sure, as soon as I put the scheduled task up, that it updates the feed every 24 hours or maybe every week at Sunday at 1. And then I can give that to a supplier and he always works with my updated content. Last but not least, I want to get into the permission rules. So once you have multiple users in your system, you don't want all the users to have the ability to change content. So it's very easy to create different users in the system and have that user then on the different roles. So it's very easy also to manage the users within the solution.